Hello and welcome to another video from home, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about 5 of the less well-known hot flush triggers. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Now, we know there are many things that can trigger hot flushes. A lot of them are very well known, and I'm sure you will all be aware of ones that can trigger hot flushes for yourselves. But there are some surprising things that can happen on a daily basis that can also be a factor in triggering hot flushes and sweats. Interestingly enough, 75% of women will experience hot flushes or night sweats at some point in the menopause. And the usual ones would be things like stress, dehydration, caffeine and sugar because they rev up your nervous system. It could be low blood sugar levels, and it can even be things like spicy foods. And if you just feel under an awful lot of pressure, even rushing about, if you're really busy, if you're short of time, just that extra anxiety and stress of doing things can trigger flushes. But there are some things, as I said, on a daily basis that might be contributing to your flushes that you're not really too sure about. These ones are all problematic in that they raise your skin temperature, and that by itself can be enough to trigger hot flushes and sweats for some women. So the number one is hot drinks. This can be a real one, and especially in the cold weather if you're drinking quite a few cups of tea or coffee on a daily basis. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the caffeine, it is just the heat from the drink itself that it's raising your skin temperature, and that can trigger a hot flush. Interestingly enough, I've often had a few women where it's the complete opposite. So just be aware, for some women, it may well be having a cold drink which can suddenly drop your skin temperature that can trigger a hot flush or a sweat too. If this is one for you, then try and just have your drinks that little bit cooler. Maybe leave them to stand for 5 or 10 minutes and then try and drink them and see if that makes a difference. Number two is hot baths. Well, obviously this is going to raise your skin temperature quite quickly. So in this situation, try to have the water a bit cooler, maybe go for a quick shower, and don't soak in the bathtub. And I know for some women it's lovely just to be able to relax, but especially if you have a long soak in a hot bath before you go to bed, that could be enough to trigger your night sweats later on during the night. So maybe try a few changes there just to see if that makes a difference for you. Hair dryers, this is really quite a common one, and also straighteners and hair tongs as well. So all of these are directing heat right at your head and your face, where very often a lot of the flushes tend to take place. So again, with this one, just try and maybe have the setting that little bit cooler. Yes, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry your hair or style your hair, but then at least you may find that you don't get so many flushes or sweats after that one too. The other thing can be the weather, just by itself. If you can have really hot days, for some women now they find that they can't sunbathe because it brings them out in a very quick sweat or even things like triggering skin rashes. It can be room temperature, and it's amazing how many women tell me they really dread going shopping because very often in the shops it's a lot hotter, especially in the winter, than it is outside. So that sudden temperature change, especially if you're wearing coats or heavy cardigans, can be enough to trigger a hot flush or sweats too. This is a little bit more difficult to control, but all you could maybe do is, if you find it's the shops that's doing it, is to just wear layers, and then the minute you get into the shop, maybe take your coat off, and you might find that that will be a little bit helpful. Exercise can do it. It's amazing how many women say to me they love exercise, but they find now that once they start their class, they really sweat like mad, and they find it quite embarrassing. The best things to do here: keep yourself really well hydrated. Don't exercise near bedtime, because again, if you rev your nervous system up and if you rev up your body temperature because of a lot of high intensity exercise, then that can keep going right through nighttime as well. So just be aware of that one too. Oh, as you can hear, sounds like an emergency just passing the window. This is what happens when we're doing it from home. Um, so just be aware of these heat ones. How to help yourself: do a diary just to double check when these things might be occurring, and then try these simple tips to try and just keep everything down that little bit. You could look at the herb sage. This is known to help with hot flushes and night sweats. And the breathing too, that can be a great thing to help just to calm your nervous system down if that's being affected by any of these heat issues too. I do get women asking that they are finding these same experiences when they are well through the menopause. Please remember that hot flushes well through the menopause may not be related and could be due to other health issues such as thyroid problems, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and maybe low iron as well. So if you're experiencing these and you're well through the menopause, please just seek medical advice when you can. The other thing I'm finding at the moment is, obviously because of all the extra stress and anxiety with everything that's going on around us in the world today, that a lot of women may find that these heat issues have suddenly appeared out of nowhere. So if stress and anxiety is an issue for you, we have two lovely licensed stress remedies. One is called Avena Calm and the other one is called Stress Relief Daytime, and you can find more information about these in the description. So I hope you found this one helpful. If any of you find that other things will trigger hot flushes and sweats, then please let us know, because if they are happening to you, there's probably many more women out there that are wondering if the same thing is happening for them. For those of you that have found really great tips, please share them. We would love to know. And until then, I'll see you soon for another A Vogel Menopause Talk from Home. Bye.